please rise in body or spirit and join us in our gathering song, Love Will Guide Us. It was written by Sally Rogers, a public elementary school teacher, touring folk musician, and songwriter whose works promote justice, unity, and peace. Love will guide us, peace has tried us, hope inside us will lead the way on the road from greed to giving. Love will guide us through the hard night. If you cannot sing like angels, if you cannot speak before thousands, you can give from deep within you. You can change the world with your love. Love will guide us, peace has tried us, hope inside us will lead the way on the road from greed to giving. Love will guide us through the hard night.
It's so good to have Julie Homey back with us today, so we're really grateful. So much good music to come. Good morning. Welcome to the Mount Diablo Unitarian Universalist Church. I'm the Reverend Leslie Takahashi, and my pronouns are she and her. And we want to welcome you to our sanctuary, whether you're joining us in person or online. We're glad you're here, and a special welcome to those who are visiting us for the first time and to a number of people who are back after quite a while, and we're really grateful to have you here today. Please, everyone, join us in the Borton Hall after the service to say hello, and you'll also be supporting our youth snack sale, because you can have snacks. For those of you online, we also have a virtual coffee hour right at 15 minutes after the service. And next Sunday is the Sunday for those who are ready to make the commitments of membership to sign our membership book. So we will have that right after the service next week. Ours is a faith deeply rooted in the principles of democracy, and we are not turning back. So today, our climate justice group is having an hour of action with postcards about making sure that we tell our legislators how we feel about keeping some of the important actions going. And also at 12:30, we'll begin a discussion about how we can be undertaking a comprehensive set of commitments known as Green Sanctuary 2030. This is the season of caring, and you can help with our gift tree for Shelter, Inc. Micah and Joe are here today. They're somewhere in the sanctuary, but they've got it set up in the, and you can also take one of our guest at your table boxes, which have been built into a lovely pyramid for you to destroy by taking them. That's what we want. And we also have a way for you to send greetings to incarcerated people through the Worthy Now program. So all of those are available for you to do quickly after the service. This week on Friday, we will have our annual community harvest meal, and we are really looking forward to hosting folks here, having folks help with cooking on Wednesday, and also looking for people to who are interested in attending and hosting and also having meals delivered. So we need people to let us know so that we can plan. I am going turkey buying tomorrow, so it would be really helpful to know, and also non-turkey buying for our vegan alternative, which I also will be looking at. So just let us know today, and welcome to this beloved community.
Good morning. My name is Jana Contreras, a member of your Board of Trustees, and my pronouns are she and her. Welcome to our service. We begin our services by reading our mission together. We bring to life our Unitarian Universalist values as we seek truth and work for justice, nurture compassion and courage, reach out to each other and to our larger community of faith, bridge the divisions that wound the human family, transform ourselves and our world. On Sundays, we have an alternative space to watch in the Borton Hall for those who prefer a quieter setting, hearing assistive devices you can ask our tech team about, and feel free to move about if that helps you feel present. If you are with us in person, feel free to join us in Borton Hall after service to meet old friends and to meet someone new. We also have an online coffee hour right after service as well. And thank you all who participated in our Bid for Love fundraiser. We know that people need community these days. Sunday is just a beginning. Our weekly email and Beacon newsletter are good ways to track the many, many ways to gather and connect here, as the pictures at the beginning of our service show. And welcome, it's good to be together.
So last week, it was a little chilly inside. Today it's warmer, so we are grateful for that. I noticed a lot of people have coats though today, so I still think it's a good thing in the days that we're in for us to warmly exchange greetings.
Good morning, everyone. Once a month, on Share the Plate Sunday, we are honored to support a community justice partner with half of our collected offerings. Today, we are excited to share a brief video with you from this month's recipient, Shelter Inc. This organization is dedicated to preventing and ending homelessness for low-income, houseless, and disadvantaged families and individuals by providing housing, services, support, and resources that lead to self-sufficiency. Let us hear from Shelter Inc. now.
Hello, my name is John Ekstrom, and I'm the Chief Executive Officer for Shelter Inc. It's my honor to guide an organization that does so much good for families and people in need. We've had 36 successful years of inspiring people to change their lives and prevent or end their homelessness. We empower people to take charge of their own situations to develop self-sufficiency. Our programs include rental assistance to keep families in their homes, shelters to keep people off the street, rapid rehousing to find suitable housing, and long-term supportive and affordable housing depending on household needs. With these programs, we weave in wraparound services to help people overcome obstacles to their goals. Our participants and employees can tell you much more about what makes Shelter Inc. so special and impactful. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Andrea Foti. I'm a Senior Program Director at Shelter Inc. And one of the programs that I have the privilege to oversee is our prevention program. Our prevention program operates in Contra Costa, Solano, and Sacramento. And what we do is we provide financial assistance to families and individuals that are in need, that are already housed but are not able to pay the rent. With our financial assistance, we support the family remain housed, being together, have less disruption, and at the same time, we help them avoid the trauma of becoming homeless.
When I got here, I really didn't know what to expect, but I was grateful that it was here because I had been doing a lot of couch surfing and staying with different family members, friends, and trying to hold down a job at the same time, but it was kind of hard because I didn't have the stability. I wasn't going to work from one designated place. So the shelter gave me stability to where I can get back and forth to my work location steadily.
It's definitely, it's like having a family I never had. Like having like the support that you should get from your family. I'm getting through Shelter Inc. It takes a village, as they say, to raise a kid, and I'm still a kid.
If you
All right, I'd like to invite you to join me in singing Good Enough. My hands are strong enough, they're strong enough, I'm good enough. My hands are strong enough to give love. My arms are long enough. My arms are long enough, they're long enough, I'm good enough. My arms are long enough to give love. My heart is wide enough. My heart is wide enough. It's wide enough. I'm good enough. My heart is wide enough to give love. My light is bright enough. My light is bright enough. It's bright enough. I'm good enough. My light is bright enough to give love. I'd I'd like to invite those who are young and young at heart to come forward for a time for all ages.
This chalice lighting is called Bringing Us Home to Love by Francis Coziar. We light this chalice today as a people dedicated to personal growth. May it burn away the oppressions we have been taught and glow instead with the humility of learning. May it reignite our dreams for a better world and kindle our joy for simple living. May its warmth extend out into the forgotten alleyways of exclusion and bring us home to love, to welcoming, and to all the challenges, questions, and blessings of this beautiful path to becoming a beloved community.
All right. I want to introduce you all to my friend, Emily, who has been helping us with our family choir program this year, and she's going to teach us a special song. Yeah, woo!
Thank you. Hi, everybody. Is this on? Yeah. My name is Emily Blackshore. My pronouns are she, her. You see me with these little ones quite a bit. Julie, could you please give me an E? Could you please play an E for me? Oh, so E as an elephant. Okay. So today I'm going to teach a song. I would guess some of you probably already know it. It's the peace round. I'm going to sing it first, and then I'll teach you line by line. Then we'll sing it all together, very easy, and then I'll split you into 4 groups. So that's the overview. So here, I'll just sing it through one time. What a goodly thing if the children of the world could dwell together in peace. What a goodly thing if the children of the world could live together in peace. Wow, you're fast. Okay. Do you think we're ready to split it up? Oh, the kids have learned it. Okay, so folks sitting in this area, you are group number 1. You'll be our starter group. Then section 2, you'll go next. Section 3, you'll go next. And section 4, you'll bring us up. What do you think? Sing it through two times total? Okay, so I'll cue you. It's a pretty fast. It's what a goodly thing, and then you go, what a goodly thing, what a goodly thing. That's how quick it goes. So everyone, 2 times through. Wait, can you give me that E again? Oh, there we go. What a goodly thing, what a goodly thing, what a goodly thing, what a goodly thing, if the children of the world could live together in peace. What a goodly thing if the children of the world could dwell together in peace. Okay. There you have it. Thank you very much.
All right, and now I'd like to invite you to join us in singing the children and youth to their activities.
My name is Ives. My pronouns are he and him, and I am grateful to serve as your worship associate today. I want to share a story about an encounter that reminded me of the power of dignity, respect, and our shared humanity. It was a situation that lasted just an hour, but one that left a profound impact on me. I was working at my urban park, John Muir National Historic Site in Martinez, one afternoon, when a white man about my height and weight came in worn and stained clothes, mumbling, and asked to charge his phone in speech fragments. His face was lined with experiences I could only guess at. This is a regular occurrence at our park, as we are at the end of the sidewalk from the county hospital, where people are discharged. Besides that, there are unhoused and/or mentally ill people that live in the area. I told this man, yes, he could charge his phone in the far corner of the visitor center near John Muir's statue. I didn't think Muir would mind. He plugged in his phone, then he exited and entered the visitor center a few times, pulsing with distress, sputtering about Elon Musk and special agent operations. I wondered for how long he had been mentally ill. Did he have family or friends? Where was he sleeping at night? After half an hour, he came back in the center, and I gathered from more speech fragments that he said he was leaking spinal fluid and needed an ambulance. He was still upright, moving around, yet he felt he was in a life-threatening medical emergency. My supervisor and I exchanged looks, and she asked him at least if he wanted us to call a taxi. Between mumbling, he said, "No, ambulance, ambulance." So my supervisor relented, asked him his name and age, and called him an ambulance. While we waited, his agitation seemed to swell. I thought, what can I really do in this situation? The answer? Treat him like I would any visitor. Bridge the divisions that wound the human family. Where are you coming from today? For the first time that day, he looked me straight in the eyes and spoke coherently. He said, Concord. Oh, my partner's parents live in Concord. I really like that town. We exchanged a few more words before the paramedics came and took him away. It was a brief conversation. It wasn't about pity or charity. It was about connection. When we parted ways, I didn't know what his tomorrow would look like, but I knew that in that moment, he felt heard, valued, human. My supervisor thanked me for treating not just some, but all of our visitors with respect. That experience taught me that dignity isn't something we give to others. It's something we affirm. Everyone deserves to be treated with respect, regardless of their circumstances. Sometimes all it takes is stopping, listening, and acknowledging someone's worth. Thank you.
And now, please rise in body or spirit and join us in singing Libertad. Liberty is more than waking up unchained. It is living in harmony with our neighbors, deciding together, working together for the freedom of all. The hymn is from a Methodist youth group in the town of Ingenio Maschwitz, Buenos Aires, Argentina. Libertad no es despertar una mañana sin cadenas, es algo más. Libertad no es poseer las llaves, todas las puertas, es algo más. Libertad no es construirte solitario en un mundo eterno.
It is the tradition in this congregation that we light a candle from the chalice when we lose a member to death. And this morning, I am sharing that our member, Loretta Lolly Miller-Branda, passed away last Sunday. Her daughter, Pam Miller, was by her side when she slipped away. Her daughters, Rana, Mia, and Alyssa, came to say farewell shortly afterward. We will be having a memorial to celebrate Lolly's life. She's a longtime member of this congregation and has been involved in many of the activities of this church over the years. We'll be holding that in mid-December, so please watch for those details. But let us just take a moment to hold in our hearts the spirit of Lolly Miller-Branda. And we are also holding in our hearts Lolly's daughter, Rana, who is also a member of our congregation. This is the time in our service when we take into the larger embrace of this loving community those joys and sorrows that are simply too great to hold alone. And I invite those who have written in our book of joys and sorrows who are present in the sanctuary today to come forward and light a candle. And I'm going to ask Rose to light the first candle, and it is from Joyce Duxbury, who writes, "Please include my brother-in-law, Bob Sadler, in your prayers. He's in critical condition after having multiple cardiac arrests during the night. He's in the ICU. I'm leaving for Carmel now to be with my sister." So we're thinking of Joyce and her family in this time. And I'm inviting Tom Taylor to come forward to light a candle this morning. Tom writes, "Happy holidays. I'm available for light work to get me to Alaska to show off my newest invention. Thanks a lot, Tom." Barbara Segru is lighting a candle. She writes, "Joy and gratitude for another decade of trips around the sun. Looking forward to the joys and surprises of the next decade." It's a birthday day, folks. All right, Sharon Solstice says she's delighted to having completed 70 years on Friday. She writes, "Nothing is guaranteed in life, but I'm looking forward to many more." Thank you, Sharon. And Dawn Greeley is lighting a candle of joy, celebration of 65 years of life with all of us on earth, and peace and love to all. And I ask Rose to light two. Yeah. Thank you. Yay. And I ask Rose to light two final candles. One to hold those joys and sorrows that are held in the sanctuary of our hearts, but not expressed in words. And the other to hold our hopes and dreams for this precious nation and world of which we are a part.
And join us for our meditation hymn, which is 1031. May I be filled with loving kindness. Eventually, we will eventually build a new way. in the teal. May I be filled with loving kindness. May I be well. May I be filled with loving kindness. May I be well. May I be peaceful and at ease. May I be whole. May you be filled with loving kindness. May you be well. May you be filled with loving kindness. May you be well. May you be peaceful and at ease. May you be whole. May we be filled with loving kindness. May we be well. May we be filled with loving kindness. May we be well. May we be peaceful and at ease. May we be whole.
This past Wednesday, November 20th, was Transgender Day of Remembrance. In honor of Transgender Day of Remembrance and the 114 lives of our transgender siblings lost due to violence in this country for simply living as themselves in the past 12 months since last year's Day of Remembrance, we ask you to join us in ritual. In a moment, we will ask you to come up to the front on either side of the table to either Reverend Leslie or myself to receive a name of one of these precious lives lost much too soon. Take a moment with this name to reflect and honor this precious person, and then place their name on the table among the flowers. If you would like to participate but are unable to move to the front of the room, raise your hand and someone will bring you a name. And when you are ready to place the name on the table, raise your hand again and someone will place the name for you. And for our friends online, please place your thoughts of love and care to these lives lost in the chat. Please, come forward.
I invite us all, before we leave the sanctuary today, to come and bear witness to these names. I know so many of us have family members and friends. I have scores of colleagues who have courageously identified themselves as transgender people. And so on this Transgender Day of Remembrance, I offer the words of one of my colleagues, Sunshine Jeremiah Wolf, who serves our Unitarian Universalist Association. May we remember those who have been murdered for being who they are, those who face violence on a daily basis, those who have lost loved ones, and those who worry for loved ones. May we come into a time when we cease to shame children around gender roles and expressions, when we allow for freedom and exploration of identity and expression into a world that operates from love, especially when things are difficult and overwhelming. May all of us who live with the threat of violence find support, strength, community, hope, and safety from violence. And I will add, may we be among those who make it so. Thank you.
See, this is one of the reasons I love this church. This is one of the reasons I love this church. Hi, I am Linda Russell, a member of your Board of Trustees, and my pronouns are she, her, and hers. So I cannot say how lovely it was to have such a wonderful event as our annual fundraiser, Bid for Love. It's an evening of community coming together to financially support the works of this church. There were a variety of ways that people could offer money. For some, it was buying the items that were displayed in Borton Hall. For others, it was bidding on some of the bigger ticket items that I always appreciate, especially appreciate when we do the big ask, which is an opportunity for our collective contribution. We start off with a few people who are able to contribute in the beginning, and then as we move through the bidding, more and more people are able to add their dollars. I think of it like a triangle, creating the foundation that is this church. If we lose the top, we are missing out. If we take from the bottom, we topple. Our true power is our joint effort with the goal of everyone being able to contribute. When all is said and done, our focus is on how we collectively meet our goal. And the big ask is always about something that benefits all of us. So the chairs we buy, along with the lighter tables, are a great benefit for our in-person gatherings. As we contribute what we are able to today, either in the offering basket here in the sanctuary or online through the Give Now button, please know that your offering is valued and needed for the health of this community. I share these words from you, Reverend Elizabeth Murphy. Your contributions are a tangible commitment to the mission and vision of this congregation. Each time you give, you renew this commitment, and as a result, your support is entwined with all that we believe and all that we do here together. This is its own special gift. The ushers will now come forward. Now, please join me in the dedication of the offering. To the work of this community in transforming ourselves and our world, we dedicate ourselves and our offerings.
Don't get too comfortable.
Thank you, Joanna. Good morning, friends. My name is Rose Rydell. My pronouns are she, her, and I am privileged to serve as your intern minister. Today, I want to address a topic that is deeply embedded in the fabric of our society and within Unitarian Universalism: classism. In 2023, I served as the Working Class Caucus coordinator for UU Class Conversations and presented on the Working Class Caucuses at the 2023 UU General Assembly. You may be wondering why it is that I want to talk to you about classism and the ways class and classism can affect Unitarian Universalism, especially now, with all that is going on in our country and in our world, so allow me to explain my reasoning. Classism is a system of discrimination and prejudice based on social or economic class. It is deeply woven into the fabric of society, yet it is often overlooked, dismissed, or seen as less urgent than other forms of oppression. As Unitarian Universalists committed to the inherent worth and dignity of every person, it is essential for us to confront classism directly, especially in the current political climate. Today, economic inequality is widening, and many people are struggling to meet basic needs like housing, healthcare, and education. Policies and political rhetoric often exacerbate these divides, creating scapegoats and pitting people against one another instead of addressing systemic causes. Those who live in poverty or working class communities are often stigmatized and excluded from decision making, while wealth is concentrated in fewer and fewer hands. Now, Unitarian Universalism has long been committed to the values of justice, equity, and compassion. We pride ourselves in being a faith tradition that embraces diversity and welcomes all people, regardless of their background or identity. Yet, when it comes to classism, we sometimes fall short of living up to these principles. Talking about classism helps uncover the ways this system shapes our lives and our communities, often invisibly. It challenges us to see how our own assumptions and privileges may perpetuate harm, and it opens the door for solidarity across lines of class. It also reminds us that issues like racism, sexism, ableism, and other forms of oppression intersect with classism, compounding harm for those who exist in these intersections. Dianardo Pizzagna of Michigan State University says, when talking about racism, sexism, classism, ableism, heterosexism, and other forms of oppressions or isms, it may be difficult to see these issues as an interlocking system. In our Unitarian Universalist communities, we often talk about racial justice, gender equality, LGBTQ+ rights, and other important social issues. And while these conversations are crucial, we must also recognize that class is intertwined with these struggles. The experiences of marginalized people are shaped by the intersections of their identities, and class plays a significant role in that. When we examine the intersection of classism with racism, for example, we see how people of color from lower socioeconomic backgrounds face unique challenges. They may encounter limited access to quality education. There are healthcare disparities. There are higher rates of unemployment or underemployment. The combination of racism and classism perpetuates a cycle of poverty that is difficult to break free from. Yuri Yamamoto says in Minding the Gap, "I know that I'm not the only one in my community who doesn't live by the norms of predominantly white, upper middle class, economically secure, highly educated, politically liberal people." The assumption that all people remember the same set of events or enjoy the same set of things puts enormous burdens of assimilation onto members of marginalized communities. If we want our congregations to become more multicultural, members of the dominant culture have to do better. learning from others' experiences, and being willing to listen, follow, and change. When we consider the intersection of classism with sexism, we witness how female-identified people from lower socioeconomic backgrounds face specific hardships. They often experience limited opportunities for career advancement. There are wage disparities and a lack of affordable childcare options. The intersection of sexism and classism further marginalizes female-identified people, making it harder to achieve economic security and equality. These are compounded even further for trans women, women of color, and trans women of color. Now, my own child, who is a trans woman of color, endured so much discrimination and hate speech at her first job in fast food when she was 16 years old that she eventually had to quit that job out of fear for her own safety. Now, besides the daily slurs or vulgarity that was thrown at her by customers every day, she was regularly stalked by customers after work, and she needed to have coworkers escort her to her car. So these kinds of conditions make employment difficult to sustain and thus hampers the ability to attain economic security. Classism also intersects with ableism, as individuals with disabilities from lower socioeconomic backgrounds face additional barriers. Accessible housing, healthcare, employment opportunities are lacking, and they're leaving them more vulnerable to poverty and exclusion. This intersection of ableism and classism compounds challenges, intensifying the marginalization. To quote the prophecy of the disabled body, caring for one another is a moral responsibility. Even bodies that do not conform to a capitalist standard of working for pay, all bodies are worthy of our care and concern because they are human people with human bodies. Now, Pisanha says there are 4 levels to the interlocking system of isms. The first being the personal level. The personal level is associated with our values, beliefs, and feelings about individuals different from us and ourselves. As we grow up, we are bombarded with direct and indirect messaging that shape our values and the way we view the world. If we are from a dominant culture, we are getting subtle and not so subtle messaging of superiority, of being the norm. For instance, Reverend Sarah Getty McNeil, the Professional Development Programs Manager at the UUA, told me the story of introducing her mother to Unitarian Universalism. She said, "I grew up in Southern Indiana in a working class family. Neither of my parents had completed a college degree. I found UUism myself as a first-generation college student. I remember my parents coming with me to a UU worship. Now, I believe the theology fit my mom perfectly, but I think the class assumptions are what kept her away and from becoming a UU. So much of the language used in the congregation I came from in a university town was overly large and inaccessible. Our centering of the written text and sounding like we were super intelligent is very present. There's also an assumption in small group ministries and social hours that everyone has at least gotten a bachelor's degree. Those kinds of conversations made for a sense of shame that their education and work wasn't valued. The second level Pisanha talks about is the interpersonal level. At this level, the focus is on our actions, behaviors, and language as we interact with individuals different from us. So if one believes that poor people are poor based on bad personal choices, They may try to change these individuals' thinking through shaming them for their choices or not taking into account the complexities of living in generational poverty. Tony Brumfield, a longtime lay leader in San Diego, who is mestizo, a blend of Northern European and indigenous Mexican, identifying as Chicano, says, there is a reluctance to provide financial assistance to people who are poor. The assumption is that poor people aren't responsible with money, and if given money, they will use it irresponsibly. When I was going through a financially difficult time, I needed assistance. Unemployment wasn't enough to cover my expenses. Now, the third level talked about is the institutional level. This level includes the rules, policies, procedures, and practices within an institution that define who is welcome and who can fully participate. A written policy may state that only individuals with certain degrees or formal education can apply for certain jobs, directly or indirectly excluding individuals who may have informal experiences or other wisdom that could be considered as valuable for the position. And the fourth and final level is the cultural level. In short, the cultural level is the social curriculum that inundates us on our daily interactions across differences. These cultural messages and norms can be direct and indirect and serve to maintain power and privilege for those in the dominant groups. As Unitarian Universalists, it is our responsibility to confront and address these intersecting oppressions. We must examine our own biases, challenge our assumptions, and actively work to create inclusive spaces that uplift and empower all individuals, regardless of their class or the intersections of their identities. And here are a few steps we can take as a community. The first being education. We need to educate ourselves and others about the intersections of class with other forms of marginalization. I suggest starting with a few books. There's Elite, Uncovering Classism in UU History, Class Action, The Struggle with Class in Unitarian Universalism, and both of those are available at uuabookstore.org. Also, I recommend Meditations on Class, Reflections, Insights, and Commentaries, available at uuclassconversations.org. The second thing we need to do is listen and amplify voices. We must actively listen to and uplift the voices of those directly impacted by classism and intersecting oppressions. By centering their experiences and perspectives, we can create more inclusive and empathetic communities. Thirdly, advocacy and action. We need to advocate for policies and practices that address the intersecting injustices faced by marginalized individuals. And what does this look like in UU spaces? So consider things like this. Does your congregation or do your committees require leaders to spend their own money and then be reimbursed for things? This prohibits people without funds from rising to leadership. Are all of your meetings and events geared towards people with 9-to-5 jobs? How does someone with a 3 to 11 shift get to participate in the life of your church? And rather than having conversations about how we as haves can invite have-nots to share our churches, can we instead have conversations that say, this is what we believe all of the people in our church should be able to do. Now, how do we make that possible? Forget about charity. Embrace solidarity. And lastly, we need to look at economic justice within our own communities. we can strive for economic justice by examining our practices and our structures. We can ensure fair compensation for staff and for contractors, offer accessible programs and services, and actively engage in efforts to alleviate poverty. And I would say this congregation does a good job at that, and there's always more work to do. In this moment, where political decisions often prioritize corporate interests and wealth over people's basic needs, addressing classism is an act of justice and compassion. It calls us to listen to the voices of those most effective, advocate for policies that uplift everyone, and challenge systems that dehumanize and divide us. As Unitarian Universalists, we are called to build the beloved community, a world where everyone's worth is recognized and no one is left behind. Talking about classism is a part of this sacred work. It allows us to dismantle the barriers that prevent people from flourishing and to live our values of equity, interdependence, and love. Friends, we are a loving people. We strive for justice. And I firmly believe that classism that exists in UU spaces is not a matter of intention, but rather a matter of attention. It can be difficult to see systems of oppression that do not directly affect us. And so we must actively look for and bring awareness to these systems with fresh eyes. We cannot allow ourselves to be hemmed in by disruptive and abusive patterns of behavior just because they're the way things have always been. Sometimes disrupting the status quo is the medicine. May we bring the medicine to our lives and communities. May it be so.
And now, please rise in body or spirit and join us in singing Building a New Way. We are building a new way. We are building a new way. We are building a new way, feeling stronger every day. We are building a new way. We are working to be free. We are working to be free. We are working to be free. Hate and greed and jealousy. We are working to be free. We can feed our every need. We can feed our every need. We can feed our every need. Start with love, that is the seed. We can feed our every need. Peace and freedom is our cry. Peace and freedom is our cry. Peace and freedom is our cry. Without these, this world
We will close today with these words by Elena Westbrook. Go in hope, for the arc of the universe is long, and we can bend it toward justice. Go in courage, for together we have the strength to confront injustice in our daily lives and the larger world. Go in love, because a holy and generous love is both the reason and the means by which we transform our lives.